William Hill sponsors Frampton versus Quigg on Sky Sports Box Office.
Doing very, very little.
Did you get a fright?
What's that?
Did you get a fright?
No, but I kind of, initially I did, and then I thought, there's no way two of them have got it this wrong, you know what I mean? So, I don't know, I don't know what one of the judges were watching, but I felt like I won the fight.
You said straight away afterwards that you would consider a rematch, and you know, Barry talked about Morales and Barrera. Their fights got better and better as they went on.
I mean, that's I like what you're saying. I understand that, but it's yeah.
Well, he's broken his jaw, so that obviously puts a bit of a time.
Well, look, I'm happy to have a rematch if the public demand it, and if it's a fight that's viable and stuff and everything else. But there's other options. To be honest, I would rather move on to bigger and better things now. You know, you look at it and you read about it, and it says split decision, but it wasn't a split decision. It shouldn't have been a split decision. I felt like I was very comfortable in there. If I have to have a rematch, no problem. But the words are oyster now, I think. I think we just move on.
Would you be surprised to hear that he thought he did quite well in the first 4 rounds until you cracked him with an uppercut in the fourth round? He thought he was doing okay.
I wasn't winning the rounds though.
Well, I didn't think so,
no.
but that was his view of it.
Yeah, and it was pretty boring. Yeah, it was pretty boring, the fight. But Shane told me, you know, we thought that that's the way it was going to go. He was going to move, and I don't really understand the tactics, if I'm being honest, because he was giving me rounds and I was having to do very little. I wasn't doing a lot, and I was winning rounds. But I don't know. I felt comfortable in there the whole time.
Do you think the board of the factor of as you described at the start of the fight? I mean, you boxed very, very nicely in that period, to be honest, and congratulations to you. But do you think what you call the board of factor predicates against the rematch?
Probably, yeah. I need to watch the fight back, to be honest. It seemed pretty boring to me. The atmosphere was good, but I'll need to watch it back. But
you do what you have to do.
That's what the plan was. From Shane says he's going to go on the back foot. That's what we thought, and he did that. Don't get greedy with your shots. When you start landing, 3 punches maximum and get out. 1, 2, or 3 punches and get out, and that's all I done. Don't get anytime I nailed him. I heard Shane in the corner saying, "Don't get greedy." Every single time I nailed him, because he can block and punch back well off a block. But it kind of opened up a wee bit near the end, and he won a few rounds near the end. But if I felt comfortable as well, I think I hurt him with body shots, and that's meant to be, you know, his forte. You know, he killed me.
Did he hurt you with any of his arms?
He could punch hard. He never hurt me in the body. He hit me a good shot to the head, but it was fine.
He claimed in the 11th round that he'd emptied your tank and he felt he was close to stopping you in the 11th round.
The 12th didn't
Or
work.
the 12th, I'm not going to force this.
He came out fresh in the 12th.
No, I don't know.
He did also say you won the 12th.
Yeah.
He said I won the 12th?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's...
He was tired because he was loading up so much, because he believed he could knock him out.
This is what he said. He said he came out too aggressive. He said he was like driving a car with the handbrake. That's what he said.
But I mean, you could sense him because he was loading up. His feet were terrible tonight, you know. And Carl's was just that's what won him the fight. Is that adjustments all the time, stepping in, stepping out. As soon as he went to load up, Carl just stepped off, caught him with 2 or 3 shots, and you know he made easy work of it tonight.
Did you find the first 6 rounds easier than you even anticipated?
Yeah, I remember coming back and sitting on the stool going, after about 4 rounds in, you know, I didn't feel like I'd done anything. I didn't feel out of breath. I didn't feel like I'd just done 4 rounds. I felt like I felt at the very start. It was very slow paced, but again, if that's what it takes for me to win rounds, that's what I'm going to do. I'm not going to get daft and get involved in fights when I don't have to. If I can keep it nice and simple and win a fight and win rounds with my jab, I'm going to just continue to do that.
Sean, what did you make of their tactics?
Their tactics?
Yeah. I'm surprised they didn't try and inject a bit more urgency earlier than they did.
That would have made commitment.
It seemed that way. I mean, that's exactly the thing. I think Carl fainted and caught him with a decent 1-2, and his legs stammered in about the 7th or 8th, and then he caught him with a great uppercut as well in the later rounds. And although Scott was kind of pushing him and outworking him in a few rounds, the 4 rounds I gave him, I just don't think, you know, he's not very accurate. You know, Carl was
just dictating the pace, and it seemed very strange how he's so fit and so strong, yet he gave away the first half of the fight. Again, the same thing he did in Salinas, he did it there, but he did it way worse tonight, and it cost him the fight. Carl, credit to Carl, he just did exactly what he had to do.
So what is the big picture now then? What's the ideal scenario from here in the next 4 or 5 months?
Well, you know, we are on board with Al Heyman. I don't know, what's the story with, does anybody know as the Santa Cruz Kiko fight?
No, it's a bit later.
So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. Santa Cruz is an obvious fight, very obvious fight, and we'd like to go to America again, maybe East Coast this time.
Brandon might be here somewhere.
Oh, Brandon went.
Oh yeah, but I spoke to Louis de Cubas, who's one of Heyman's people, on the phone pretty much straight after the fight, and he said to me, let's go and make a Santa Cruz fight, so that's very appealing to me.
And it would be great if we could get him to come over here.
To Belfast, yeah.
No, Belfast would be wonderful.
Featherweight fight or title?
He's the WBC down in Belfast.
I think
he's actually a WBA.
I think Santa Cruz could do super bantam, but if I have to go to featherweight, I wouldn't go to featherweight for a no mark. It would need to be a big fight and for a world title, and he obviously is a big name, and there's other big names at featherweight. But I promise you, this is the easiest time at super bantamweight this week.
Relinquish those belts and he wins them, or would you be able to?
I haven't got a clue. Don't know.
We're going to have to sit down and make a genuine decision.
To move up.
No,
just to see who the next fight, you know.
But that would be a move up. That's what I'm saying.
No,
there's options at this weight and there's options at so
Santa Cruz is up, isn't it?
yeah,
He is, but in reality he can be a super bantamweight.
Okay, okay. I see.
He's not, he went up to featherweight to avoid the super bantams, that's what he done. I mean, we don't want to be sarcastic.
Presumably Barry are also going to have the issue of both bodies wanting you to fight the man.
Yeah, so we again, we're not making any decisions, we're going to sit on it, and he's the boss. He will say to me, I want to go this way, I want to go that way, show me the options, you know. And so we'll sit down and look at all the options, but quite honestly, with the greatest respect to Scott Quigg, he fought very bravely and everything else, but that's not an attractive fight for us. It's just we need to go and step it up to the next level, and I think Santa Cruz is a real possibility.
So the mandatory appeal to you?
What's that?
Does Rigondeaux appeal to you?
It does. I've always said I'd be happy to beat him. I feel like I'm the only guy in the super bantamweight division that can beat him. I think Donaire is also another fight. There's a Ruiz against Saya tonight. I think I got their names wrong on Sky Sports. They're boxing as well. So there's options here, but I would be happy to fight Rigo. I've always said it. I would fight him, no problem. I think I'm the only super bantamweight in the world that can beat him.
But Barry, you don't think that's an attractive value?
I just don't think it's an attractive fight because he is negative, he backs off, he's amazing on the back foot. What do we gain by fighting him? It means nothing. So sure, if we go and fight Santa Cruz and we fight possibly Lee Selby, or we fight someone like Gary Russell, there's always a chance that he could come to 26 to fight us. We could even do it at 24, so 124. So there's a number of possibilities. You've got to look at the money fights. The money fight is Santa Cruz. That's a great fight. He's a volume puncher, non-stop, walks you down. It would be a breathtaking fight. And the difference between Santa Cruz and Scott was unsure and he just didn't want to throw him because he was so apprehensive because he was been hit hard that he didn't want to let go. So Santa Cruz does let go, and it will be a fabulous fight.
You want box office fights from here?
I just think this kid I think he's the best Irish fighter we've ever had. And that's a big, bold statement I get told off all the time. And we're going to have he's got time to prove that. But I genuinely think if he's not the greatest Irish fighter, we intend to prove that he is one of the greatest Irish fighters over the next. McLaren will
I think it's the first one ever to unify in the athlete era. Must be kind of very proud about that.
First Irish boxer? Oh, it's very nice, obviously. I'm the best. No, it's very, obviously it's nice to hear. No one else has done it before, and it's an honour, really.
Carl, after all the hype and kind of like 5 years of waiting, does the feeling of victory live up to what you might have expected, or like, are you nearly just relieved to get?
I don't know yet. They never really sink in until after. Everything always seemed a bit subdued, even though the atmosphere was incredible. But when I get back home, and maybe when I go and have a pint tonight, it might change, and it might.
You're gonna have a pint.
Half a pint.
Have you any idea what's the reception you're going to get when you go back now?
I haven't a clue.
It's half Northern Ireland's been here tonight.
I know.
AP McCoy.
We did tell them that.
Yeah.
Michael and Mark O'Neill and everything.
Yeah, it was great, and the boys that walked me out as well. And these are guys I look up to, you know. Sturdy Dallas was playing Irish League football about 4 years ago, and now he's going to the Euros. It's unbelievable. They're what they've done as well, and sport is on a real high in Northern Ireland at the minute. And sadly, Ireland lost today to England. I watched that game, but you know, I feel like maybe I've got the ball rolling here, and the boys can get a wee bit of something from that, and take it into the Euros with them, and do something magical, and get out of that group. Who knows?
Who was in your dressing room when you had Wayne Rooney and his?
I seen Rooney. Rooney's half juiced. Now I went and seen him, and I gave back heavy on Quig, so he's a bit annoyed that I lost the bet. But
Roy McIlroy backed you, Carl. That was the bet between Wayne and.
Oh, was it them too?
And Roy.
What sort of dough?
Whoever was going to pick up the tab next Sunday at dinner or something.
No, Martin O'Neill, Mike O'Neill were in, the four boys as well. I seen Jimmy Nesbitt with a retro Northern Ireland top. Going mad. AP McCoy obviously too. I had someone said Tommy Bones.
Lewis rang me last week and said him and Liam Neeson are watching it on Showtime.
Yeah.
So he said, I'm sorry you couldn't get here, but massive fan of Frampton. So.
What does all that mean to you? What is that kind of? You're a very modest man, you know. You
sure, me and Daniel are. At the Ulster Hall and for 7 fights. We're best mates. No, it's unbelievable. Like it's crazy. It's crazy. You have someone like that. Daniel Day-Lewis, the only ever actor to win 3 Oscars, is saying he's right behind you. And he's watching on TV. It's crazy.
That proves just how big a name you are now, though, that people like that are tuning in and coming to your fights.
Yeah. I don't want to say I don't know. Obviously, if you keep winning big fights of this magnitude, then your name's going to get bigger. But I just feel the same. I don't know what it's going to be like. It might be a bit of a shock when I go back home, but I just want to chill out and put the feet up, turn the phone off for a few days, and have some proper food. And
Shit food, that means.
What was it like walking out to that crowd tonight? Because it did deliver what you said, kind of.
It was electrifying. It felt good. I felt it excites me. Like I feel happy coming out that. You know what I mean? I don't know.
It was inspirational.
It was, and just looking up, and you can almost you can't really see what's going on at the back. It's that far back. It's twice the size of the Odyssey. It's unbelievable. Great atmosphere. Great atmosphere. I can't watch it. I love, you know what I love doing? Watching the videos back of the fan videos on YouTube when they're singing and stuff. I love doing that. I love watching it back, and I can't wait to go and watch a few of them back.
You said, Barry, last week, a very salient thing about tonight, really, that this was the toughest fight along the road so far, and it was a very tough fight. Yeah. But it's just the beginning of where you think you're going.
Yeah, again, without you know, I want to take this opportunity because all the last week or so there's been a lot of bullshit and nonsense being said and everything else. We have the utmost respect for Scott Quigg, and we know that Eddie's very good at what he does, and there's lots of banter and lots of stuff that was unnecessary, and particularly with Joe Gallagher, that got a bit nasty. But he's a great kid. He's a very determined fighter. We have a lot of respect for him, and I know the sort of dedication he puts into it. We said all along, Frampton has he has more versatility. He's got more gears. He can do more things. We told him that we would bring Northern Ireland with us to the fight, and we were proved right. But we have great respect for that team. They're top people, and the Sky guys were amazing too.
Carl Scott was almost in tears as he left. What do you think that says about him?
I would have been the same. A defeat's hard to take. It's not. This is a hard game when you put so much into it. If that had been me in his shoes, I'd have probably been the same. It's not easy to take defeats, and for someone like Scott he's so dedicated. He may struggle to deal with that, but he's very strong-minded, and I hope he can get back on the wagon. And there's fights for him there still. It doesn't, one defeat doesn't make you a bad fighter. I remember saying it when Paul Butler got beat by Teddy. Teddy's an outstanding fighter, but it doesn't make Paul Butler a bad fighter, and it doesn't make Scott Quigg a bad fighter to lose to me.
What ranks higher, tonight or Keegan or something like that?
You'd have to probably, it's a hard one. Purpose-built stadiums and stuff was good, and to win, I won my world title, and the leader was there and stuff, at home. This one though, travelling and to Manchester and feeling like Belfast is right up there too, so it's you toss a coin there, you'd say which one's the best feeling.
Would Santa Cruz be Madison Square Garden?
That would be great.
Coast, yeah?
That would be great. We'd love to go to the East Coast, and we think that probably it would take a bit of building on the East Coast, whereas him coming here, we wouldn't need to build it. And Al is letting his fighters, for example, Charles Martin's coming to fight, the big fella, so maybe he's willing to do let his. He does seem to have a very sort of protective attitude towards his fighters. Maybe he will let him come here because and we could do the rematch in NSG. That's something that really excites me. That would be great. But we're willing to go for the first one to NSG.
And a big Irish support you get easily there.
Yeah, massive.
Man, you leave a big draw in it. I'm telling you, this is much more.
One of the boys mentioned Windsor Park might be the summer venue, yeah?
I'd love to fight.
23,000.
I would love to fight at Windsor. It's a dream of mine. I spoke about it in there in the change rooms, and I would love to fight at Windsor Park. Obviously, the European Championships are on this year, and half the country will be elsewhere, so we need to get the timing pretty right. There's only a couple of months when you can actually box outdoor in Northern Ireland, so you need to time it well. But at some point in my career, it would be a dream for me to box at Windsor.
Barry, you'll obviously be very proud of Carl, but how proud of you are you of Shane based on the performance tonight? Obviously, you've got a game plan that's been very, very effective, and do you think you'll get the proper credit now as a coach?
I don't know. There's always a little bit of jealousy, and he got there because he was my son and everything else. He's a phenomenal trainer. He's only 27 years old. He covers the right through the spectrum.
Instructions in the corner were great, and Tony Bellew just came into the change rooms and he says the exact same thing. Everything you were telling Frampton in the corner, because he could hear it, he's working for 5 Live, I think, was just spot on. I've said it, and I'm not just saying it because he's my trainer, but I've said it for a long time. George Groves is maybe here somewhere. All the big names are going to start coming. George and David have recently linked up, but David Hay as well. So you've got the big names, and they're going to keep knocking the door down. But as long as they all know I'm the main.
No, that goes without doubt. He is. It's where a talented trainer meets a kid that has natural ability, and I've always said that Frampton is so naturally talented, and he has boxing intelligence, boxing nous, and people just don't understand. They don't understand what that means, but I know because I'm a fighter, and I can see how he thinks and how he handles pressure. The more pressure, the more calm he becomes. He's pretty extraordinary. And there are great fights, and he may not win all of them, and there are big fights out there, but it's really exciting for us.
Just on that, actually, just by yourself with him digging the pressure, did you feel tonight, Carl, just the same as before?
I felt pressure before, and I felt pressure in this fight, but it didn't feel like there was more pressure on me. Honestly, it didn't. I'm used to big pressure situations. Obviously, when they go and build a stadium for you back home, and against, and you fight someone who you've already knocked out, and the public are just expecting you to beat him again. That's proper
pressure.
pressure.
He looked like he was really struggling with pressure.
Yeah, he
I
did.
could see in his eye.
Recently, at the press conferences and stuff, it cracked up. They
was
kind
really
of let their
struggling.
guard down a bit. I agree there.
What's your thoughts now on the dressing room thing that happened in the last few days?
Listen, I did not care about the dressing room. I did not
Neither
care.
do we
I didn't care
anymore.
I didn't care which dressing room would be in, but I knew that it was getting to Lemons. I knew that he's very superstitious and he wanted to be in that dressing room. So we played a blinder.
Can we have tables next time for the media, by the way?
All right, but it didn't happen this
No.
time. Well, I blame.
Blaine and I, we wanted them. Macho said no
Macho
tables.
said no tables.
Can we have okay, that's fine.
Don't tell any of said that.
But when we come to Belfast, can we have
Oh Jesus! So thank you very much for being
Thank you.
patient. I know you are. And let me just say before you go, every one of you guys is part of this journey, and we are so grateful for the support that you give us, and it's fabulous. You know, honestly, every one of you guys are very, very important to his life. And when he's 75 years old, if he lives that long, he looks back, and every one of you made it work for him, and every one of you are superb. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
William Hill sponsors Frampton versus Quigg on Sky Sports Box Office.